Hi everyone, my name is Piotr. In this video I want to talk to you about JavaScript runtime and the event loop in JavaScript. So how basically JavaScript works, how it runs into code, how it reads the code. Let's talk about this. I will show you here. So what I wrote is a file with the functions. I have a function all uppercase, which returns the parameter to uppercase. Then I have the function split letters, which call the all uppercase function and then split it into a single letters. Then I have a function get letters, which print the output of the split letters function. And then at the very bottom, I call the function get letters and I passing the string. Right. So here I just make some visualization how this works. So JavaScript is single-threaded. It means that it can only do one thing at a time, right? So one thread, one call stack equals one thing at a time. What is a stack? Stack is you can think of it as a record, or it records the where we are currently in our code, our flow. And the heap is basically the place where our data is stored, our objects. This can be variables of, for example, parameters, like any data. And so here in this function, if I run this code, I will get, as you can see, I get the output of each letter to uppercase and then split it. So how this works? Let's see the flow of the code, right? So the first block in our stack list is the main. Main refers to your file. So this is an anonymous function, main, which basically it refers to your file. So this will be removed if your file ends running. So at the first place in the stack list, our main function gets added, and after that we are calling the get letters function. After that we are calling the split letters, which returns the all uppercase reference, which then adds this function to our stack. And after the all uppercase function returns, it will be removed from the stack list. Then our function split letters will be removed from our stack list. Then our get letters, and then our get letters call, which is here, get resolved or executed, and our stack list is basically empty. So as you saw, the process, the flow is that it execute one piece at a time, one function at a time, right? So this is the single-threaded way of JavaScript runtime. The second one is which refer to event loop and asynchronous code. And so how this works is that I wrote here some code in this file, which basically prints out the text. Then I have the set timeout, which will print who am I after 1 second, and then the last one is a string I'm a second. Let's just run this code for a moment in our console. As you saw, we get these two strings first, and then we get this one after 1 second. But how exactly JavaScript runs this code, yeah, right? Because as we know, the stack list can only execute one thing or one piece at a time, and it cannot wait the 1 second before the executing, right? So how it works basically. So here you know that in web browsers we have some APIs which we can access, like DOM elements, listeners like onClick or onSubmit or onMouse hover and so on. We can also make some AJAX requests to our servers to receive some data, to send some data. And we also have the set timeout, which differs or executes our code after the time that we specified over here, right? If I put here now 0, then you may think that this will run immediately, but because of the set timeout, it will actually, the JavaScript executes first line, then when it gets to the line number 3, it will basically save this file line as a callback, and then go to the line number 5 to run this code, and then eventually it will go back to the line number 3 and then runs this code, right? So this doesn't mean that it will run directly. It is you can think of it as the minimum time that you want to wait for this function, right? If I will put here like 1 second, and then I will just make some API calls which will take 5 seconds, then it will eventually get printed after 5 seconds, right? So let's take a look at our diagram and see how this flow works. In our stack list, we have our main function, which refers to our file. So this is the first block in our stack list. So after that, into the stack list, our console log gets added. After it gets resolved, run, it will be removed from the stack list. Then the JavaScript gets to the point where it reads the set timeout. It cannot run it directly, but it will make a callback, which will be added to our callback queue, which I wrote here. So as you can see, we are adding a callback, which is sitting here and waiting for a chance to run it. After that, we are getting to point to line number 5, where we are getting the I'm second string. After that, the event loop. So what is the main point of the event loop? The event loop looks into our stack list and checks if it's empty. If there is anything, if there is nothing besides our main function, and if there is nothing, then it will take our first callback in our callback queue and it will add it to our stack list to run. And so it will run our UMI, which will be the last one. And after that, the callback gets deleted. The first block at the very top gets removed. The main function, the anonymous function, gets resolved. Our stack list is empty, and so that's how our JavaScript executes this file, right? So I hope this was helpful. If you have any questions or want to hear more, just put in the section comment below, and I will see you next time. Bye.